himself or herself. So let's over to you, Gary.
They said give him 18 minutes. I think 4 minutes has gone already. Let's get straight into it. Okay, who's ever seen me before? This is your first time. Have a show of hands. Yeah, that's the right answer. Okay, we've got a pre-loaded question. There are many questions that we can ask when we're with people that you know what the answer is going to be. Does that make sense in the room?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. So what I'd like to do, obviously I'll share as much as I can in as clear as possible with you. Obviously, if there's anything that I go through you're not quite sure about, make sure you get hold of my card at the end. I've got some little tips on one side. I'll happily send you some free stuff over. Okay, so just don't be afraid to ask. I found out many years ago that when I was running a judo club. It all kicked off with we needed to get more members and we wanted to fundraise. And so I decided to break a world record. Out of interest, how many here in the room have broken a world record? We've got a few. Thank you. Brilliant. How many have done it twice? Just my hand, okay? Just my hand. Yes, so I'm a double world record holder in judo. Okay? And I set the record of the most judo throws in 10 hours. And this is the classic thing that you get when you do something. Everyone around me said, you'll never be able to do it. Who's had that experience? Yeah? I said to them, no, you won't be able to do it, I will. Now that wasn't arrogance, that was an internal knowledge of knowing, because I've done a quick calculation. And if you're ever worried about anything, do a quick calculation. All I did for about a minute, I had a few people walk towards me and I threw them with a very simple technique. And that was the one I'd chosen I was going to do. And when we did it for about a minute, I said, how many? And they told me. I did a quick calculation. It was way over 20,000 within 10 hours. But yeah, we'll go for it. The record was about 18,000 throws, and the first time it was over 20,000. Two of us had to do it and broke the world record, which was fantastic. Now the challenge is the following year, I set the target to 25,000 throws for two of us. Now bearing in mind now, those people that says, oh, you'll never be able to do it, they couldn't say that anymore, could they? But then they said, oh, 25,000, that's a bit too much. So it is for you, but not for me. And the other person doing the judo throws didn't have a choice, because I told you he's going to do it. Sometimes just tell people, it's okay. You can think about it, you can have all the plans in the whole wide world, you just got to take action. It's really important, it really is. So I said to Lee, it's 25,000, split it in half, I'll do 14,000, you do 11. Is that alright? He said, yeah, it's fair enough. Because I knew that's going to be about the pattern. A day before I'm about to do the world record, I ring up against Book of Records just to double check. It's important to check things when you go for a record. I said, just check and see what the record is at the moment. Someone had broken the record. It was 25,000. Right, you've got a day before, you've prepared for 3 months. What are you going to do, ladies and gentlemen? What are you going to do?
26.
I can't hear you. What?
26.
No, it was 27,850 throws later, we then broke the record. I didn't tell anyone. I said to the people counting the throws, when we get to 25,000, keep going. And the two referees that were monitoring as well, do not stop. We keep going, okay? So what that taught me was a very important lesson, one that I've known for years anyway, that when you set your own goal, it doesn't matter what someone else says. That's their story. That's their limiting beliefs. That's their mindset. That's their whinging and moaning that they do all day long with everyone that they meet in their life, reflecting back on you. Saying, oh, Arbonne, I've heard about that. Isn't that one of those pyramid schemes? You go, absolutely, I'm earning a fortune. Look at the white Mercedes and just walk away. That. I go, yeah, you're right, it's one of those, it's calm, it's illegal, and it won't be for you. And as you walk away, they'll go, can we have a chat? You see, sometimes you can be too nice, trying to sell the benefits, etc. I know you've got to fit in with certain guidelines, but that's the way the human mind works. Do you know when they say that to you, this is the fun thing, because I've got a lot of friends who have done it and done really well, I'm really pleased for them. My passion is speaking, is presenting, is sharing what I know. I know what my passion is, because I'm gifted my time today. I'm gifted my time, because I know Nicky, I said, I'd be happy to do it, I love it. And when you do something you really love, it's easy. Does that make sense as well? Yeah. So when the compensation plan came on, probably like a lot of people in the room, my head started to hurt. I'm a bit like sort of Tom Cruise, just show me the money. And one complication, someone else can work that one out. You've got team members, they'll explain it to you. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm worried about that. But the key thing is about being absolutely passionate and 100% in what you want to do. I really don't care too much about what other people think. I'm going to do an experiment now, and I'm going to be in the live. Let me stand down there. Right. I want you to close your eyes. I'm a business executive, so you're going to go under. And I'll go back on stage again. I do apologise for moving. And I want you to really focus on one thing. What I'm thinking. Oh my God, it's not that, is it, Gary? So tell me, what was I thinking? Feedback's good, feedback's good.
Success, money, bonus.
See, you haven't got a clue what I was thinking, is that right? Yes or no? You haven't got a clue. So why do you waste your energy worrying what others are thinking? It's one of the rules of psychology that when I'm working with a lot of people, I'll sit in my office and I'll face to face and go, right, this is really important. And on the very odd occasion, I've done the most cheesiest of things. I must apologise. I've lit a candle in the room. It's a classic one, it really is. I've been doing this 26 years, but it's all the stories you never imagine. So I said, right, we're going to focus on the candle. With the power of thinking, we're going to extinguish it in the mind. I know those at the very back are going, I can feel the force now, Gary, hold it back. Who's ever extinguished a candle with the power of their mind? Have a show of hands. There's only one way to do it. You go from thought, right, the candle needs putting out. That's it. Thank you very much. You know, all the meditation coaches in the whole wide world, it's not going to happen until you take action. It's not that difficult. My first law of sales was my next door neighbour, Steve. At the age of 10, he said, and I came from Leicester, so I put my hand in my pockets for a bit to help look after my money. He said, Gaz, because there was three by short names, we're going to make some money today. All right then, Steve. Steve came from one of those families you never argued with. So he said, can you borrow your dad's wheelbarrow? I thought, hey, this is not going the right way. I said, yeah, sure. So it was during the energy strikes, I don't know if you remember it, in the early 70s. Some of you go, what's the early 70s? That's all right, don't worry. Some of us do remember it. So we went round the houses asking for scrap newspaper, because if we took enough tonnage down in the back of my dad's car, we got about £1 each. Seriously. I said to Steve, so what do I have to do? He said, it's ever so easy. You knock on the door and you say this, we've come for your scrap paper. Okay. That's my sales training. So I knock on the door, yes, we've come for your scrap paper. Hold on there, love. Or come round the back and lower your barrow. Please notice what Steve taught me there. It's called the assumptive close. We have come for your scrap paper, not do you have any? Because he learned very early on at the age of 12, if you said do you have any, they say no. Not difficult, is it? Not difficult at all. There's 4 styles of people that I want to share with you very quickly that I picked up on. And you will find out these 4 styles of people. You might have done a lot of psychology. Remember, I've got a very short period of time, so I just want to give you some little tidbits, if I can. There are what we call the nurturers, the very direct people, the thinkers, and the combination. Okay, that's 4. The nurturers are the people carers. People carers use words like nice and kind. They're people first before product, without a doubt. They're people first in their business, great to be around. They're very direct, often very business first, very achievement, recognition, supported by the people. Analytical, they do a lot of great deep thinking about how they can grow their business with all the figures, the logistics. Combination, the combination of all 3. How do I know how to suss someone out very quickly? By asking one question. And this is one question you might want to ask. It's a very important one, you might want to write it down. And it's this one. What's important to you about, and then fit in the missing blank. Put the missing blank there. I'd be interested, what's important to you about your family? Mary, listen. What's important to you about your life? What's important to you about your children? What's important to you about maybe looking at an opportunity that might make a difference? What's important to you about, and they will come out with an answer. Nicky, what's important to you about running your business? Sorry? No, come on, what's important to you about it? Quickly, what's important about your business? First thing that comes to your mind.
Leaving a legacy.
Helping people to change their lives.
Helping people, right? Thanks, Nicky.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry, don't be sorry. I put Nicky under pressure, she didn't expect it, and I'm not going to preload it. Helping people, that is a value known as nurturing. So if I can talk to Nicky, okay, well, I've got something I've been interested in about helping people and about helping them grow and develop. Would that be interesting for you? Well, she's nodding her head, she's smiling, she's tinting slightly as well. As a hypnotist, I know she's gone into trance. All you do then, you go, right, sign in now. Just cut out the middle, really, that way you tease it, please don't. But in that one moment, for Nicky, yeah, that help was the first thing. Nothing, because she's put under pressure. Oh, come on, a little bit of humour, a little bit of a smile. What's the most important thing to you about? Yeah? Your first name is, lady in the red jacket, I do apologise. What's your first name? What's important to you about doing this business? That's interesting. Do you like being with people, yeah? It's a people business, isn't it? Thanks, Joanna. So for Joanna, it's people. So again, Joanna, when I was chatting to Nicky about if I could show you something that might be interesting, could help and develop people, is that something you might be interested in? She's nodding to me already. There's your cue. Look, if I could show you a strategy on how you could actually increase your sales and bring in more money than you ever had before, that might help people. Would that be of interest to you? Well, yeah, maybe that a bit more. So there's a bit more directive there. Yeah? The analytical will be looking at the compensation plans, definitely. They want to, if you're with an analytical mind personality, you've got to know exactly what that plan is and how it can be portrayed and what exactly their end payment will be. If not, they'll walk away because it's not fitting their value system. Does that make sense in the room as well? Yeah. So you can't have one way of presenting. At least 3 different ways. Does this look after people? Is it all about achievement, or is it about the stats and figures? Just have that in your mind. Very straightforward. 3 vehicles to think about, okay? People that like to help people, they're known as ambulances, because they carry people from where they are to where they want to be. In emergencies, they make a lot of noise. Is that right, yes or no? All the nurturers in the room that think sometimes people aren't nice. Can I have a show of hands? Yeah, we've got them. There we are, yeah? You might say things like they're selfish. Who's ever said that about someone? Yeah? Okay. Ambulance drivers, ambulances, okay? People that are very direct, they're known as snowplows, because they drive a pathway, they're natural leaders. Doesn't mean they're good ones, they're just natural leaders. There's a difference, okay? Who likes just to go ahead and achieve and do all that sort of stuff? Can I have a show of hands? Who likes paintball days and a lot of fun and jumping up and down, screaming? Yeah, natural, snowplows do that, yeah? The analytical mindset is a submarine, someone who likes to take their time, sometimes be on their own, will have teams, but will actually be happy to be independent. Fairly cautious sometimes and wants to make sure things have been planned out and worked out well. Who would say that fits in with them? Yeah, great. So from submarine's point of view, standing back, periscope view. Yeah? All makes sense. But if I know that's the case, I can then talk about the opportunity to you in your way. It's like talking a different language. It can take me a whole day to teach you all this stuff. I've only got about 3 or 4 minutes left, possibly. Is that right? Yeah, I'm good with my typing. Alright, so let's get to the point then. If you want to feel confident, if you want to feel great about anything in your life, one thing I would like you to think about is this. Your thoughts are neutral until you attach meaning to them. That's got you thinking, hasn't it? Yeah. You see, I could show you all sorts of different techniques. I'll show you one. That can make a massive difference if you want to do it. But the reality is you get insight into what that means for you. When you get the insight, that really keeps those fires burning inside of you. Yeah? Let me show you what I mean by this. Can you just stand up for a second? Thank you. Just stand up in the room. Take a deep breath in. For those who aren't moving yet, you have to move. This is a quick one. I've got about 2 minutes left. Deep breath in. Arms up in the air. And as you bring your arms down, moan. That's good arm moan. Very good. Take a deep breath in again. Arms up in the air. Excited moan. Go! Oh, we're not finished yet. One more time. Deep breath. Arms in the air. Orgasmic moan. Go! About the same as the second one. That's it. Thank you very much. Tell me, why did you do that? Do you always do as you're told? So when you go, no, of course not. You just did it. Okay. Why did I do that? It's got a pattern interrupt. It's about changing your state. Change your state. If you want to feel confident, it's about feeling good about who you are. Feeling about who you are. Another quick one. Stand up again, please, because we're about a minute into it. Peter, 1 minute left. I'm getting there. Right, good on your timing. So stand there. Hands on your hip like Superwoman. Superwoman. Come on, breathe in like Superwoman. Breathe out so you don't pass out. Tell me, how do you feel? Come on, outstanding front finish. Come on, one more deep breath in. Before each presentation, breathe out. Big smile on your face. Imagine you're Superwoman. Every time you speak to someone, they invite you to the opportunity. What would that be like? Come on, tell me. Thank you very much.